The United States, Patrick Chapin, cut his teeth on the Junior Pro Tour.
One of the very, very short list of most influential Magic writers. He's been playing the Pro Tour forever. He's a brilliant guy, and I couldn't be happier for him.
Earning a top 8 before embarking on a Pro Tour career that would see him play on Sunday 4 more times at the Pro Tour level.
He just has a charisma to him that people want to watch him.
His first 2 grown-up top 8s came in the 90s before being away from the game for a few years. Even then, he was a fierce competitor with a strong mental game and an innovative approach to deck design.
Patrick would just pick up a pen when it looked like his opponent was about to attack, when Patrick wanted his opponent to attack.
When he returned in the middle of the 2000s, he became one of the most influential figures in the Magic community.
I don't think anyone says Magic community more than that man. He has done more for the world of Magic than I think anyone in the hall.
Through his weekly column, his format-defining deck designs.
Even when people say stuff like control isn't good, he just always proves them wrong. And sadly, that also meant that I lost to Nassif in the finals of a Pro Tour when he was playing a deck that Patrick designed in Kyoto.
His book.
Written a book, made a rap album, made the finals at Worlds. I mean, the guy is just passion embodied.
And even his music.
I mean, he radically altered the landscape of Magic after he came back, you know. I mean, it's like night and day. I honestly think he's one of the foremost personalities in modern Magic, and it's about time that he's gotten that.
He has amazing results, four top 8s, and he's a great player, just a great member of the Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the United States, Patrick Chapin. Japan's Kenji Samura had little success during his first attempts on the Pro Tour, and found himself not even qualified for Japanese Nationals in 2004.
At Osaka, he didn't have the qualification of the national championships, but at last chance qualifier, he got qualified, and the very next day, he finished at second place. Then his career starts from there. It's kind of similar story.
He would not only grind in, but become 1/3 of a Hall of Fame national team that included Shuhei Nakamura and Tsuyoshi Fujita.
There's nobody in the history of the Pro Tour that enjoyed the Pro Tour more than Kenji.
During the following 2005 season, Samura would make 3 Pro Tour top 8s and become the first ever Japanese player to win the title of Player of the Year. Perhaps even more impressive was his vow to improve his game in 2006 in regard to his limited play.
For me, the quintessential Kenji moment is like he's the reigning Player of the Year, and he says, I just got to get better at booster draft. Like, none of his top 8s were individual booster draft. He had the team draft in Atlanta, a little bit different format. He's like, I need to get good at booster draft. And he comes back the next year and just wins back-to-back booster draft Grand Prix.
He would earn 3 more Pro Tour top 8s, and for a handful of years was widely regarded as the best player in the world.
I still remember Rich Hellen, who was considered to be one of the best limited players of all time. When they teamed together in Two-Headed Giant, he said that he just held the cards and Kenji told him what to do.
And one of the most popular.
And I feel like Kenji, along with like Olivier Ruel and to an extent Shuhei Nakamura, were some of the first people to really bridge that gap and really integrate the communities. And a lot of that is just because Kenji is the most entertaining human being that I've ever met.
His popularity stemmed not just from his good humor, but from his exemplary sportsmanship.
He's the kind of guy that will stop his opponent who's about to not pay for his pact so he doesn't lose the game, because he wants to win the right way. That's the sportsmanship of Kenji Samura.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Japan, Kenji Samura. Japan's Masashi Oiso burst onto the Pro Tour scene during his Rookie of the Year campaign during the 2002-2003 season.
Describe playing as Masashi Oiso, it's terrifying. I mean, it's really frightening. I mean, he knows how to win games that, like, very, very few other people can win.
During a time when Japanese dominance was not yet the norm, he became the first Japanese player to make multiple top 8 finishes.
He always thinks 5 turns in advance, and you always see these pictures where he's like, I think I'm gonna keep because the first 5 turns are gonna go like this, and that's what I really like about him, and he's one of my favorite Magic pros.
He would post 6 top 8 finishes over the next half a decade. During the riveting Player of the Year race in 2005, Oisa led a contingent of his countrymen on an unprecedented foray to the heart of North American Magic.
But it was unheard of for a Japanese player to go outside of APAC, Asia Pacific region, and play in an event, much less win. It really kind of, it was like staking a flag on the rest of the world, saying, we're here, we're a viable force, you need to pay attention to us now.
And came away holding the hardware.
It's Oiso that wins the Grand Prix. Shows up, and he wins the Grand Prix on a bluff.
His intense focus at the start of each game, as he deliberated his mulligans, became his trademark.
I can say that he could tell the future. Yeah. While opponents thinking about the next turn, he could tell the next 5 turns or something like that.
I think he's the best Japanese player in all time. He's like machine.
And he helped usher in a new era in which Japanese players would win the Player of the Year trophy for 5 straight seasons. It does not seem so long ago that Brazil's Paulo Vitor Damarosa was an aspiring pro, sharing his passion for the game in a weekly column.
I remember reading articles by this 16-year-old Brazilian kid named Paulo Vitor on a website called Brainburst. It doesn't even exist anymore.
He had gotten a taste of the Pro Tour via Worlds, but it was not until a string of money finishes in 2005 pulled him out of the PTQ trenches that he began his ascent to the very top of the game.
He's easily one of the best players I've ever seen play. Like, I think I've gotten way better just by playing with him. Hopefully he'd say the same thing, but
His first top 8 came in the form of a second-place finish at Pro Tour Charleston as a member of Team Rala Pumba.
When you stop for a second and say, okay, let's do the math, and let's look at him at the end of his career, you're like, holy smokes, like he's amazing.
In the 6 years since, he has racked up top 8s at an historic pace.
But the truth of it is Paulo, he is the next John Finkel or the next Kai, and his success is currently it's unlimited.
Capped off by his most recent and 9th Sunday appearance at Pro Tour Dark Ascension.
It's hard to argue that there's just about anyone who deserves induction into the Hall of Fame more than Paulo. His results are unbelievable. He has 9 top 8s, including a win, nearly 2.
He has posted at least one top 8 finish each season, but one since then.
John Finkel 5 times is in the top 10 in the Player of the Year race. Kai Bude also 5 times top 10. Paulo, 6 of them. 6 of the 10 years he's been playing Magic, he's finished in the top 10 of the Player of the Year race.
Including his 2010 win at Pro Tour San Juan. He is still a regular writer on the subject of Magic.
I mean, if you read Paulo's articles, he produces some of the best writing on the internet, not just because he's funny, not just because he explains things well, but because he understands the game of Magic.
Providing a unique weekly glimpse into the process of one of the greatest players in the history of the game.
The guy's going to rewrite the record books. He may very well be the best player of all time.
And he's like 24 or 25 or something, which kind of like sickens me, because by the time he's my age, I'm only like ahead of him by 5 PTs.